Hi everyone, Emma here. I am doing a cuff bracelet tutorial, and this is part of a challenge that Annalise from Norway, her channel is called Wearingstones. She asked to do a challenge with me, and this is the challenge she gave me. So she showed me a picture of a bunch of beads and wanted me to do a cuff bracelet. So I went ahead and picked some colors that I had, and I am going to show you how to make a cuff bracelet. Now she has a challenge for me, a beading bracelet with a technique that I don't know, so she's challenging me to that one, and she's going to do a video on that challenge, and then I'm going to recreate what she does, and she's supposed to recreate this. So hopefully I can do this to show you and her how to do this cuff bracelet. So I have done 2 videos on this same cuff bracelet. I'll post the links for it, and I'll also post the links to Annalise is her channel called Wearingstones, and the links to the videos as well. So yeah, I think let's get started, and we'll talk as we're doing it. So just 2 little things. This is only my 3rd time doing a tutorial on this, and it's actually my official first time doing a leather tutorial with my new camera, and as you can see, it is above me. Now I have it rigged in a way that's kind of precarious, but I have a clamp that's specifically for this tablet that's coming that will help with this. But in the meantime, so I'm kind of learning where my hand placement is and stuff like that, so please be patient. I'll do my best to make sure you see everything and understand everything. If you have any questions, let me know. So yeah, let's try this, and as I go I'll let you know the different things. So let's talk about the supplies. You can switch supplies up by all means. This is not one of those tutorials where you have to have certain things a certain way. These are just my preferences. So I'll start with the beads. I have these beads here. They are some of my favorites I got, I think, from AliExpress, and I can't remember. I think they're called Shoushan, but I'm not really sure what kind of stone they are. These are 6mm, and they are for the middle part of the cuff bracelet. So this bracelet, I probably should show you a picture, but like I said, my camera is rigged a certain way. And the other thing too is normally I pause after I show you a specific thing, and then I continue on to the next phase and then come unpause the camera. I can't do that with this camera. It doesn't have a pause feature, and I'm working on that to see if I can, there's a way you can hijack your tablet to do that. So anyway, so this will be a long video probably. These beads, you want a bigger bead in the middle, and then on the sides you're gonna have a smaller bead, so you can change the sizes. This is an 8/0 Toho round Opaque Navajo Luster, so it kind of goes with that. So we're going to use those. You need, I'm using 2mm leather. You need 4 feet of that, so I've already cut my piece. You need some thread. I use this upholstery thread you can get at Walmart. It's super strong. It's 100% nylon. It doesn't wear. It's like incredibly strong. Then some S-lon. This is to attach your, to pull your leather together, and this way you avoid knots. That is huge for this bracelet, because any bracelet tutorial I've seen on YouTube, if you find one that doesn't have this, let me know. I know oh, the bead shop in California, they have like Friday lives all the time. They do them where they use the S-lon. But that's the only one I've seen. There's no actual designated tutorial on a leather cuff bracelet that doesn't involve a ton of knots, and you don't want a bunch of knots on your wrist. So you need a button, and you need a big enough button that when we create the loop that your button is going to go into, it needs to be big enough to hold the leather like that. So just think about that when you're picking your button. And you need a big shank, because you're going to pass your leather in that shank multiple times. So I'm putting a charm. This is a Tiara Cast Ohm charm. You don't have to put a charm. You need a needle that's going to fit your thread, which is sometimes a problem, so just be aware. And actually I better check to make sure this goes through this. So sometimes I have to use a smaller needle because you're going through this bead multiple times with thread. So let me see. That seems to pass pretty good. So let's and through your seed beads. So yeah, and I use wax to condition my thread. If you don't have any wax, you can, like this is beeswax, you can use a candle. And I think there's some stuff that you can buy to condition your thread as well. But it takes the knots, it prevents it from creating knots when you're using your thread. Very important. So let's start with our leather. So we are going to pass your leather through. You need this to go through twice. So let me get this second piece in here, like this. Let me think. Let's put the first. So the first one side is going to go through a lot. As you can see, I'm pulling it through, because this is the one that's going to go all the way around it a second time with your seed beads. These here are going to be your middle beads. It'll make more sense when I put it together. Let me grab my ruler here. So this is going to be for a 7.5. So we're going to take this loop end and we're going to put it at the beginning mark of our leather, and measuring our ruler. And we're going to bring our button down to the 7.5 mark. So I'm just kind of scooching that down. So pull it a bit snug like this. Okay, we're at the 8. We want it down at the 7.5. There, like that. Let's try this again. There. And that should be enough for that side. So we're going to start with, we are going to secure these pieces of leather with our S-lon. So this here is the first part. I'm just going to double check the measurement. This tick more than, let me just pull that through a bit. 7.5. So now we need, I'm going to move this out of the way. So we're going to grab a piece of S-lon. We don't need a huge amount of S-lon because I don't want to put a huge loop of S-lon on it. I just want enough to hold it up against the button. So I am going to take my piece of S-lon like this and create a loop. Then I'm going to place the loop along with my leather. Hold it like that, pinch it with your fingers, then take your S-lon and start to wrap it. I'm going to switch this around here so that you can see what's happening. Okay, like this. Okay, like that. And just, so you get the idea, just wrap it around. You don't need to wrap it like a whole lot, and I try and just wrap it so that it's one layer, but you could put two, it's up to you. I try to leave as little bulk in there as possible because that's going to rub against your wrist. So then take your end, so you can see I don't need all this. You're going to take your end and put it through that loop like this. And we're going to continue to hold on to this. But now this end here, you can take this and pull this. It's going to, I don't want to let go of my, but I want you to see what I'm doing here. Let me enlarge this so you can see what's happening. I'm going to see if I can increase my height a bit. Oh, that's a little too much. There. Okay, so we're going to pull this through, and it's going to pull it right underneath the knot, and just enough to hide the knot. I'm just going to pull this to make sure that's snug. So it came back out, but that's fine because we're going to pull it back in. So pull that through there. So that is actually secure. You could probably leave it like that, but yeah, I want it to be hidden a little more. And I want to move this up as close to the button as possible. So I am just gonna, and a cheating way to do that is hang on to this wrap and pull this leather down. So it's gonna snug it up to the middle. Now I guess we did it quite long, so it's, let me see if I can slide that up. Not a big deal if you can see it, but I would like to get that up as far as possible. Let me see what I can do here. There we go. That's what I want, like that. And I'm going to actually go a little further. There. So the button almost hides it. Okay. So we are going to have to, we're going to glue this, and I think I'll leave the strands because I've tried this video already and I had to stop it because I ended up cutting it. Oh, okay. So let's remeasure our thing, and then we're going to add the S-lon to this side, and that will secure it in place, and we'll glue it all. So let's just take a look at our ruler here. Let me bring this out. Oh, this is, sorry about that, folks. Okay, there's our 7.5, and you can, we might be still in the right spot. Okay, I am, yeah, actually it's perfect. So the other thing is we're going to cut this as well. So let's, just going to make sure this is the way I want it. So for this side, I am not going to put as long a tail, and the reason being is we're going to put seed beads coming through here. So I don't want it interfering with the seed beads. So let's just cut a small piece. We could probably use that other piece, but I'm scared to cut it now. I guess I could cut it here. There. Yeah, let's just use that piece. So we're going to do the same. Let me enlarge this. And I'm going to move the ruler out of the way. Make sure there's lots of light. Okay. So we're going to hang on to this here. We're going to make a loop. And going to bring this around. See if we can do it, pinch it this way. so you can see what I'm doing. And I think that's probably enough. Let's do one more and bring it through the loop. There, through the loop. And I'm going to hold this down so that when it pulls it in, it's nice and snug. So let's see if I can do this so you can see what is happening. You see, as I pull this piece down, the loop is going to pull the other strand underneath. That is a bit loose. There. So if you pull both pieces, it snugs it all nice and tight. And I kind of want that up further, so let's see if we can. I'm just a little paranoid, so I'm going to measure this again, so make sure it didn't move. And we are good. But I would like it to be up more. So I'm just using my nails to kind of pull the knotting as high up as I can get it. Actually, I could probably pull this tight. There. There. So there's our middle. That's what we want here. And then this is going to come around for the seed beads for later. So let's tuck that over to that side, and let's add some glue here. I'm going to use GS-hypo. Oh, this might be dry. It doesn't seem like there's much. Oh, and we'll go in here between the pieces of leather, and I go up and down. There, so that should do it. Let me cover this guy. Wipe my hands. Okay, I think it's safe to cut these now. Just be careful. I just ended up doing a second take because I cut that lower strand. So just careful. Okay, so this we can cut. Again, be very careful. I cut the other one. Telling you all my secrets. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to look at what I'm doing and where my nippers are. There, look at that. Perfect. Sweet. Okay, now we're ready to get going. So here's the other thing. Normally, when I do bracelets, I attach them to a bead board. I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time doing it, so I think I'll just leave it for now. Now, I do like to keep one piece of thread throughout the whole thing. So I'm going to take a wingspan. Hopefully that will be enough for at least the middle beads. I think it will. Just that. And we're going to condition this. I already threaded it because sometimes it's hard to thread this stuff because it's thick, keeps its shape, and this is how you condition your thread, I thought. And I just kind of pass it through my fingers to, you know, any excess kind of pieces of that wax will come off. And I was going to say about this. Oh, if there is like some wax, not to worry, the heat of your body when you're wearing your bracelet, it'll all come off, so it's not a big deal. So now you want to attach your thread. I always attach it to the left side. We always work from the left to the right, and let me make sure this is staying where I want it. And I think I'm going to add a bit of light. Let's see what's happening. I'm not sure why that's not too bright. Okay. So always work from, when you're beading on leather, always work from the left to your right. So let's go ahead and I just put it on this strand here. This is the strand we're going to work on. I always leave a tail. So yeah, and I make a snug knot. So we'll just go and try and bring it up as close to the top as possible, like that. Okay. And then I say snug, and I'll show you why when we put it, because we're going to hide this knot inside the bead. So that's why I do it that way. So I'm just going to put a second knot there and leave that strand. I've got my needle. Let's get these guys going. This part should go pretty fast. There's a lot of explaining with this, but so take your bead, put it on your needle, and bring it all the way through, and it's going to sit. And actually you could take this in, put it through, because these holes are really big. So let's go ahead and do that now. Normally I wait after and I thread it and go through, so now I've got both pieces through. But I'll show you what happens, and the reason I do just a snug knot and not a totally tight one is it turns the knot to go inside.
Oh, keep going. I brought you a present.
Thanks, honey. My wife just came in. I already told them I can't pause. I am not telling them what you left me. Thank you.
Okay. Sous chef for your life.
She calls her. So we joke all the time. She's a sous chef because often I do lead in the kitchen. So she says, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, okay, because I can't use my hand for chopping. So she does all the chopping. I call her my sous chef. So today she went to Walmart to buy stuff that we needed. And so she said, you know, I realize I'm your sous chef for your life. Oh my gosh. So she just dropped off some goodies. Okay, so we are going to go over the right hand leather. We're just going to ignore this because we're going to weave it in later. So over, then under the right hand piece, and let's just grab this with this hand. Then we're going to go through the bead. Then we're going to go under the left hand. And I like to hang on to the bead and then pull everything through. Like that. And then just make sure that everything's tight there. And let's push it up and pull this tight. And there is your first bead. And let's take a look at what it looks like. Look it, how beautiful. This is going to be gorgeous. Okay, so I am just making sure. Now, be careful not to pull. Sometimes I pull too tight. And if you have nice soft leather, it ends up cutting the leather. So be careful. This thread's really strong. Okay, grab your next bead. String it on. and position yourself. You're going to go over your left hand leather, over your right hand leather, hang on to it. You're going to go under the leather, through the bead, under the leather, and out the other side. And I like to grab hold of this piece here, make sure it's tight, and I just pinch it with my finger, then pull this through. If you can't do that, it takes a while to figure that out. If you can't kind of maneuver that with your fingers, not a big deal. You can always tighten it after. So then I just make sure everything is up there. And you can see here there's a bit of wax. Not a big deal, it just comes off. And so that's that. So we'll keep going. So we're going to add another bead. We're going to do this right to the end. And we are going to take we're going to check our button against our loop. So we'll keep going with this all the way close enough that there's enough space for the button to go in, and that's it. And then we'll do the next step. So we'll just bring this all the way along. And so you can see if you had this attached to a bead board, it would work like it wouldn't move all over the place. But actually for this cuff, it's not too bad to do it this way. You know, it's funny, now that I do a lot of bead weaving, it makes sense to me to hold on to the bracelet. So this is working a lot better. Just pull it tight. Next one. Let's see how quick we can do this. Quick as a bunny. So yeah, you have to check out Annalise's channel called Wearingstones. She just changed her name from her actual name to Wearingstones, and she's been beading forever, years, like 10, 20 years, I'm not sure exactly, but so you should definitely check her out. She just got some new video recording equipment, so her videos have improved considerably. I mean, we all start with whatever we have and then, you know, figure if we like it or not and then get some better equipment like me. But so yeah, she definitely has some awesome skills, and she has a hilarious sense of humor, and that's why I love, between her skill level and that, I love watching her videos. So look at that. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Look at this. That's gonna be pretty. Okay, I made this 7.5. I'm sorry, I made it 7. So you can see now the thread is all getting twisty. So just be aware of that. And what you can do is just pull it between your fingers and untwist it like that. And let the needle kind of spin around. So I hope everybody's doing okay. I feel for my friends in the United States with everything that's gone on. I hope that you have an awesome inauguration, that it's without incident. Sadly, you know, how it played out is not ideal. And I just want to let you know that we are thinking about you. We actually probably watch more of the American news now than we watch Canadian news. Nothing going on here. We're boring. But sometimes boring is good. So I was just kind of tightening things up, and if you start to notice it's really loose, you can just kind of pull each one down the line to tighten it. So we've added our bead. We're gonna go over top the 2 strands, then underneath and through the bead, and then underneath, coming out the other side. Pull this side tight. I hang on to it with my finger and pull my thread through. like that. You can see how it wants to curl, so just be aware of that and kind of reposition things. So I just kind of pull my leather down. Okay, and again, be careful not to tighten it too much. We are going to go over. So it'll be interesting to see how long this video goes. These usually take me, you know, I used to say it takes me an hour, or sorry, 2 hours to do a leather wrap bracelet. But actually it probably takes me more, like an hour. So I think we could probably get this done in an hour and a half. And there was a whole bunch of explanation at the beginning, so, and if I kind of speed this up, this might go quicker. If this part, like once you get to see this part, just fast forward it. I am going to do some work on figuring out the ins and outs of YouTube. There's a really cool technique where you can mark sections of your videos so that they call them chapters, so that you can advance the video. So you can look at it and you'll see in the little bar, the play bar at the bottom, there'll be little yellow, probably not yellow, I think yellow is the commercials, but there's little sections where you can tap and it will jump the video to that spot. I feel like this is a little looser than I like, but I am a little obsessive, so I apologize. There we go, let's get nice. Let's pull some more of these off. Let's put a bunch in here, see. So you can kind of figure out where you need to be with how many beads. Let's go a couple more here. So probably something like this, maybe a bead or two more. So your button would fit to about here, and I think you need a bit of space to get the button in. You don't want it like jammed right up against the button. So let me just move these guys out of the way. Let me count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4. Yeah, I figure usually around 25 beads for a leather wrap bracelet for just the one strand. So now I have to say that was when I was making all the bracelets to fit me. And we now know that my wrist size is freakishly small. Cindy James sent me that beautiful bracelet that she made, the blooming crystals, and she said, I was worried that this was too small, that it seemed more like a Barbie bracelet. So that's what we're going to refer to my wrist as, the Barbie bracelet, the Barbie wrist. So this is cool. Thank you so much, Annalise, for doing this challenge, because I have been avoiding doing tutorials on leather wrap bracelets because it's hard to do on camera. But right now it's actually, like I said, I've got the camera positioned above me, so this is really working out good. And I actually have it plugged in too, so it won't get short on battery life. That's the other thing that you have to think about when you're doing videos like this, is the equipment that you use. Probably best if you can plug it in while you're using it. Otherwise, sometimes I've had this happen to me, it shuts off. That's not, here you are doing the whole tutorial not realizing the camera's off the whole time. So not friendship. So I'm trying to think of some other things to talk to you about. I guess let me know what your thought is on doing live videos. I could do a leather wrap bracelet video now that I know I can do it like this. I can do a live because I could actually, yeah, I'd have to figure out how that works. I guess, yeah, I don't know that I'll be able to do the live with this tablet. I'll have to use my computer because this room has poor Wi-Fi because of the metal in the walls. So I have to use my laptop. But yeah, let me know if people are interested in doing lives before I have my surgery. I will definitely do that. And if you have any preference on what I do in the live, do you want me to maybe do an intro where you see my face and we talk a bit, and then I do some maybe simple jewelry design, and then I can flip my lid to my laptop down so you can see it and do it that way. So yeah, let me know, because that was so much fun when I did the live. I really like it, but I want it to be interesting for you guys. I don't want, like, I mean, if you guys just want to talk, I'll do that too, but I think it'd be fun if I did something as well, which with doing a live, it's kind of hard because I'm trying to read the comments and do what I'm doing. I get distracted and end up not doing much of anything except talking. So actually, you know what? Maybe I could do an unboxing because then I can flip the camera up and down. That's a good idea. So I already thought of doing a shopping video with you guys, so we could do that as a live. But I kind of want to save that for when I am rehabbing from my surgery, so that I have something that I can do that doesn't involve my hand. So this part's getting a little finicky because the loop wants to stay open. I'm going to pinch it a bit. And so I think we need at least one more, if not two. And we actually have enough. I was going to say we have enough thread for the seed beads, but we're starting the seed beads from the top here, so it's not going to work. Now, for some things, like these have big holes, and if they move around a lot, sometimes what I'll do is I'll go back up through here and bring my thread up. So I don't know if I'll do that on this one, just because that's a lot of, it's going to be like a super long video. So let's take a look and see where we are at with this. So we still have quite a bit of room. So let me do it that way. I think let's try two more and then make a decision on a third. Put that in. We can see how it wants to keep opening here. So just make sure you tighten that. And this leather is really soft. Here's the other thing, a little tip I want to let you know. I'm using a sharp needle, and I use it because it has a bigger eye and it's a smaller needle. Well, for the fact that I can get the thread through the eye to begin with, and it fits through the bead. But be careful not to poke your leather. These needles are so sharp, they will destroy your leather. So I've done that before, and the leather is so delicate on certain level, you know, so you have to be careful. Because once you get a tear in it, and then you as you're wearing it and it wears, it can damage it. So let's see, I think this is probably it. I'm going to hang on to that bead so it doesn't pop out. So that's lots of room. I think we can go one more. This bead too, the color reminds me of sky blue. I just love it. I have all different sizes of this one. I'm just, I don't know what it is about the leather that I love so much, but I just, I love it. Okay, let me see. I'm just making sure everything is, there's no gaps. That looks too small now. Let's take a look. Oh, it's fine. Look at that. Okay, perfect. So let's secure this thread at the bottom. And I'm gonna tighten this second one here has gotten a bit loose. So how I tighten that is I just pinch it with my fingers and then pull the next one through like that. And pull the other one. Pinch and pull. Okay. Now, to secure this, I am going to go through this bead and probably a few and then put a knot and then hide the thread and glue it. So we're just going to go up and around. I'm going to hang on to that and pull it tight. So there, now it's tight. So now we're going to go through the bottom side of this bead. That. And actually I'm going to come up through the top. So this is a trick that I show people too. I want to make the thread disappear. So I pick colors that match the leather. So you look at the beads and not the thread. Now if you want that design element, you can alternate your color of thread to highlight stuff, but I like it to disappear. So another way to help your thread disappear is to follow the same path. So when you flip at the bottom, you will get, let me see if I can bring this up a little closer for you to see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me just show you. So this, on this side here, your threads go from the bead above and on an angle. Oh, I'm not showing you here. So from the bead above, underneath, it comes down on an angle. On this side, it goes straight across. So when you turn your thread around and go back up, you are going to get one loop here that's different from this one. There's no way to avoid that. But we come out of this side, and when we go under to secure it around this piece of leather, instead of coming out the normal way that we do, we are going to come up through the bead. And I'll show you what happens when we do that. So we are going to go under your right hand side of your leather. And you can push your bead down so that you can reach the hole better. So you're going to, instead of coming through the bottom side, you're going to go through the top side like this. Pull that through and tighten there. So now this bead's not going to move. Now we are going to take our thread and we are going to go underneath the leather to the bead above. So that is going to bring our thread in the same path as the other one. So it only looks like there's one thread, like that. So that's my little trick for the day. This is from doing hundreds of these bracelets. I've finally figured out where to hide your thread, and you can pull that tight. So we're going to go over and come through the top. So again, you could take your thread all the way through the whole thing and it would secure it. I don't know that it needs it, so I think, so we're going to go through this next one and then we'll do a knot and I'll show you what happens. So we're going to go under and I'm pushing the bead down so that I can access the hole like that. And so now I am going to do a knot here and I'm going to tuck the knot into this bead. Now this works really well with these beads because the holes, let me show you, the holes are nice and big. It will work with smaller ones, but it's a little harder. So I'm just going to come around like this and bring my needle around. Actually, no, let's go over the top and do it. Okay. So here's our thread. I am going to go around this piece here and come out like that. Okay. So there's our thread. Let's pull it like this. So there's the loop. I'm going to take my needle and bring it through the loop. They call that a half hitch knot. And I'm going to snug it towards the bead. I'm going to create a second one. I was just checking. I thought I went through my leather. Oh, be careful. See what happened? It went around the loop. So just pull that out there. And we're going to bring our needle through here anyway. So let's do this. And that's going to, you're going to see quite a big knot now. And you don't have to pull it tight at this point because when you pull it through, it's going to tighten it. So let's pull this through here. And I'm going to hang on to the bead and pull it tight. There, the knot's gone. And pull it a bit tight. Now you can cut it here, or you can go through one or two more times and then cut it. That's what I like to do. So let's go through here, push that bead down, get in there. And this is where you end up poking when you're going underneath. You can't really see it, so you're like, ugh. Okay. And I think that's got it. So I'm going to cut it here. Now sometimes I leave a length about this long, and I do that so that I know where to add my glue. But we're going to add the glue right away, so it's not going to be that big a deal. And be careful not to cut your other strand. I've done that. You want to cry when that happens. There is a way to recover that, but so there we go. We are 48 minutes in. Yeah, hopefully the rest will go a little faster. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to just put my needle there. Glue. GS-hypo. And let's stick it in the bead hole. Like that. Like that. And I do both sides, not really necessary. And be careful not to disrupt your thread. And here's another trick. So this GS-hypo has this really tiny little needle thing that goes in, and it's hard to position it. While you're grabbing your cap, put your finger over it to stop the glue from coming out because it just pours out everywhere. And another tip is put your finger against it and you can guide it in like that. All these little tricks, and make sure you have a paper towel close by and you can wipe off any excess. So look at that. Look who we have. And This is going to be beautiful. Look at that. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me bring this out. There. Okay, so I'm just going to be careful in hooking this. These buttons I got on Etsy from, and actually Bear Creek Supplies, Canadian store. She has her own shop, so it's bearcreek.ca. And oh my gosh, she has incredible buttons for really cheap, and she's got free shipping after a certain amount. I think we're gonna thread this one through. We might as well do that now. See if I can thread this on camera. Look at that. That's the big joke. Usually I pause the camera when I thread because that's not nice. I got so excited I ripped it out. But yeah, I usually pause it so that I can thread my needle so that you guys don't have to watch me thread a needle. And anytime that I've done it on camera, it works. I'm like, are you serious? Like, okay, so it's coming out of this bead here, and let me enlarge this for you. Okay, so it's coming out, so we want to go around this leather here, and we're gonna go through the bead. Now this is already knotted, so you don't have to worry about knotting it. Now we're gonna go under and down to the next bead, and through, like that. And I think I'll just put it through this one, and that should be good. Look at that. Lovely. And again, be careful not to cut any other threads. And we're going to put some more glue on this guy. Get that in there. In there. And that. Okay, we are ready for our seed beads. So now we are going to start our seed beads through here. So let's get some more thread. You will probably need more than a wingspan for this, and so maybe I'll get a chance to show you how to add thread. Well, I mean, it's basically the same, and you can see this is popping up. So that's what I was saying about being careful with where you put your needle from your glue. So I think what happened is when I pulled out the needle, it pulled the thread with it. But this thread is nice and stiff. So I was able to push it back in. So maybe when we're all done, we'll add more glue. Let's see if I can thread this. This needle has a big eye, so maybe I'm cheating. Now, some people use double the thread. I used to, but you know what? You're going to have a ton of knots and frustration. So when I moved to this upholstery thread, it's so thick, and strong, you do not need. So you see how it gets all twisty? And to get that out, just pull it. Here comes part. And pull it. And there you go. And we are going to put this, start a knot here. I think we're going to work on this side like this, because I like to move from one side to the other. So we're going to do the same way we started the other side. We're going to create a loose knot with a long tail. Now you could attach your thread in through there. Again, I like to keep it as neat as possible. So, and there's a nice place to hide the knots with your seed beads because they have big holes. So there we go. Let's put these guys aside. And we're at an hour. Actually, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be for timing wise. So let's put some seed beads here. We're gonna pick up a seed bead. Now you could do 2 seed beads. I used to do with just say a single strand leather wrap bracelet. I put 2 seed beads, but this is probably enough. Let me take a look and see what 2 looks like. So we may end up doing 2. Yeah, I don't know. So let's see what 1 looks like. I think it does need 2. These are, I wonder if I have 6 O's in these. That would make it faster. And I do, look at that. No. It was an 8-0 in the 6-0 spot. The nerve. 6-0 S-lon. And okay, so this is an awesome opportunity that I have. Okay, so this one, I don't know. They look kind of chunky. I don't know. I kind of like this a little more delicate. Let me see. Oh, this, yeah, this is nice actually. So it's that versus that. That's way too small. But if we put 2 of these, I think we're going to do 2. I like the white. It outlines the rest. Decisions. I am the worst for making decisions. I like these ivory, so I think I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so let's flip this back and get started. So you can leave this like loose. It'll eventually start to take shape around the bracelet. Okay, so I've put 2 of those beads on. And I'm just going to draw them. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to only do 1. So we start with a smaller because this is on an angle. So we're going to slide 1 in there first. So let me take this one off. So we'll do 1 at a time on this just at the beginning. And again, we're going to take this thread. Sorry, I'm going to bring this down a bit. You take your thread and put it through the seed bead as well. So we can hide the knot. That. Pull these through. Okay. And let me enlarge this. You need to see this part. Okay. So you have both pieces going through. Let's ignore the tail. Now we're going to take our needle and we're going to find the position that's, like, we want to position that as close to the top as possible. So let's go through here. We're going to go around this strand of leather. So over top of it. And that is our tail. Let's scooch our tail to the top here. Okay, so let's pull that tight. So I'm pressing the bead down into the leather because now we need to go under the leather and through the bead to secure it. and it's kind of hard to see. You'll see it better once we get it going. So go through the bead, and this is where you end up poking your leather. Okay, and we're going to come out, and I, use my fingers to pop that bead back where it needs to be. I'm pulling my thread through and pull that up like that. Okay, and we're going to add our next. Let's pull this knot around here and pull it through the seed bead. There, it popped in the seed bead. So now that hides that knot. Let me pull it a little bit more. There, like that. Okay. That'll pop down once we get going. There, so pick up 2 this time. So you can see why you needed just the 1 there. And like that. So I just hold them in the spot. So here's where it becomes a bit of a challenge, because you have these threads going across. You want to make sure that where you put your thread around your leather is not going to interfere with those lines. So I went above that bead. It seems to be the right spot. So this is getting a bit, I need to go through my 2 beads now. Like that. So pull that, and pull this one, and pull through. Okay, there. So again, these kind of like beginning spots are a bit wonky because you're just getting started, but once it gets going, then everything will start to really come together. So try and keep, this is going to want to, see how it's flipping up? It's going to want to reposition itself. So just be aware, keep adjusting. So let's see if we can do this where you can actually see what's going on. Pick up 2, bring them all the way down. Okay, so they're going to go over top like that. Bring your line across. So now I can go through here like this. And we want to pass through these 2 beads. So let's kind of pop them down and put our needle through. Like that. And come out the bottom. So what you need to do, see how this thread is getting loose? You want to pull it and put your finger there to hold it, and then pull your thread through. And there you go. And scooch it up. You see how there's a gap here? So make sure it gets, use your nail or your needle. There. And pull it there. Sorry, I keep saying there. 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 And get rid of your knots. Okay, so this part looks like it's going to take longer than I thought. So maybe once I get going without the explanations, might be easier. Just going to pull that, and like that. So let's take a look. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, this is the part I wish I could fast forward, but you know what? I might try to upload this to my computer and fast forward it through this beading part, because otherwise it'll take forever to show you how to make this bracelet. because I'm kind of picky about how it looks. There. I'm going to do it from the side. It looks like you can see it better. Pick up two. Let me my thread here. Move my leather over to see if that helps. And there's a rogue bead. You could do more, you could do 3, but I think, actually now that I look at it, I think 2 is probably too much. You're like, oh my god, Emma, what are you talking about? Okay, this is a little harder than I thought at this angle. Yeah. Oh my god, this needle is so sharp. I'm so used to bead weaving, I was going to pick up a whole bunch of beads. Like, nope, 2. 2 for you. That's all you get. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Darn it. Maybe what I should do is do this in parts for now, because this sucks. I don't want you guys, this is like super boring. I know you guys just want to get to beading. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. The more I see this button, you know what? I think she gave me this button as a gift. The more I look at it, the more I want more. That's terrible. I want. Oh, oh boy. Yeah. You know what? I have no problem doing this on camera. So for you guys out there, this part is boring. Just fast forward it. And I say fast forward, jump to the next section. If you put your finger on I think it's a red dot, and draw it forward, it shows you the image being fast forwarded, so you can tell where to fast forward to. And then once we get to this end here, you know, take a look and see how I do that part. But for this part, let's just keep going till I figure out what to do with this video situation that's real time. My laptop the fan just came on. So just make sure all of them are scooched up. I should, there's a tool that you can buy to round your, I think it's your wire and head pins. I should see if I can get one of those and round off these needles, because I keep sticking myself. And I apologize, my hands are like crazy dry. I noticed now that I have a better camera, I noticed my hands are really flaky and dry. With COVID, we've been washing our hands so much. And then, of course, I painted the shelving unit in my office. And I was going to put gloves on. And I was like, nah, I don't need gloves. I'm not going to get my hands dirty. My hands were coated in paint. So I had to use a scrub brush to get it off. in my finger. So of course that didn't help the dryness in my hands, scraping my fingers like that. So. I might go through here. Trying to think. I might clip it with my cutters. I wonder if I have to use my memory wire cutter, because this is hard steel. And this happens. Let's take a look and see if this works. You'll be like, no, Emma, I can hear you now. I just need the tiny littlest tip. And I'm going to be careful. Turn my head. That worked. Perfect. Look at that. Sweet. Oh, that's so much better. Now, oh, there's the piece. Perfect. I was going to say, now I need to look for that piece, because if I stepped on it, oh my gosh, that would be bad. Okay. My wife's probably wondering. I was going to say if I died in here, but that's not nice. She knows I'm on YouTube. She calls herself the YouTube widow. She's so happy that I have this to keep me busy. I have bipolar disorder, and stressful situations can sometimes stimulate a episode. So definitely this ranks as a high incident for an episode. So having you guys out there to help keep me busy and motivated is really nice. So you don't need to do this much finagling, but you see how particular I am with stuff. So I'm lining them up. I want the threads to match, and it's a little bit overkill. So don't stress. It doesn't have to be this complex. Yeah. Get these guys in there. This won't take long. So I don't know if I told you, but I have to get tested for COVID 72 hours before surgery, which makes sense. They don't want anybody exposing, like the whole surgical floor would have to be scrubbed, and they'd have to hold all the surgeries, and yeah, that would be horrible. So I understand. And we have a testing center close by, so it's not a big deal. And that looped again. This is starting to look incredible. So you can imagine this on the other side too. Wow. I'm glad I used the white. They really pop. Navajo white. It actually looks whiter here than it does there. So it's funny when you put colors next to a different color, how it changes, how the color looks. That's why it kept looping and noticing it's coming around the bottom. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this tight, hold it with my finger, and kind of pop that up there. There we go. I was going smooth, all of a sudden it just off the rails. So I hope you guys didn't find that Fire Mountain Gem magazine catalog boring. I was so excited. You know, it's funny, when I saw it the first time, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Went through it, didn't really. Well, my first impression was, where's all the stuff? Because I know they have a lot more stuff on their site. But no, it's a good catalog, so I was super stoked that I ordered it. So again, I think if you did a 6/0 bead here, that would go. This would go a lot faster because you're not going through 2 beads. But it all depends on what you want to do. I should check what time it is, because I was joking about my wife, wondering, here she went and did all the shopping, and I'm sitting here playing with my beads. Let me see what my, oh gosh, it's 6:30 at night. Let me give it one more, a half an hour. I think what I might do is show you how to do the end, and then do this in a second video. I don't know, maybe I should, this is an hour and 15. Here's the thing, if I do the, yeah, I'll do the round, and then we'll go up, and then I'll do a separate video for the finishing, maybe. The reason I'm saying this is I can't pause my video, so I can't like pause it and go have dinner with my wife, and I know she's gonna be wondering when we're eating. Yeah, we often eat late. It's not a big deal, but it's not very fair to her. She does all the work, and then I just goof around. And then try to go quick, and you know when you try to go quick, you mess things up. So there's that. So I had a comment the other day. Somebody apologized that my video was so boring they couldn't watch it. So I thought it was really sweet that she apologized. She's like, I'm really sorry, I can't do it. But it's one of those things that in the video, that it was the Swarovski video, and you know, some people don't like unboxings, and then some people like it to be very regimented, like you know, this is the name, and this is the color, this is where I bought it, this is how much, you know, that kind of thing, right? And all of you know that's not the way I do. I'm not like unboxing, or the kid at Christmas, you know, unwrapping their Christmas gifts. Oh my god, I can't believe it. That's what my unboxings are about. Christmas morning with Emma. So, and kind of pointless to do prices because by the time I get the stuff, the sales are over. Some of the listings are gone, and then there's the whole issue of Canadian versus American funds and all of that stuff. So yeah, and I don't have to me it's boring to do it that way, right? But so as long as people aren't, so I get the odd comment like that, and I've decided that when I get those comments, I'm gonna delete them. You may think, like, how petty is that? It's amazing how one comment, and I could tell she was being nice by, oh, I'm really sorry, but I can't do it. It's just too boring. But it bugs you. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me that I'm like, oh, how come I'm not boring? So I'm like, you know what? Best to just delete it and move on. So that's just a fair warning, folks. Give me nasty comments, I'm going to delete them. Really, what purpose does it serve, right? So on some level, it lets me know, okay, I need to work on this situation where, yeah, I looked back at the video, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see what they're talking about. But it really doesn't change my approach to things because this is about having fun, right? So I bring this up because this is probably boring for somebody, and I apologize for that. But you know what? I can't be responsible for you. So if it's boring, move on to another video. Do something else. Whatever. Telling me he's not going to change it. Don't get in there. Almost. I said almost. I'm thinking of the song. What's his name? Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. And I forgot to put my bead needle through my beads. I grew up with country music. My dad plays the banjo, or played the banjo. He's passed away. But my wife gets annoyed with me. I start singing gospel songs because I grew up with the old bluegrass. So a lot of gospel songs. And I'll like belt it out the top of my lungs. Like if we see something on TV and they're singing the song or something. She's like, oh my gosh, Emma. This little light of mine, I'm gonna make it shine. All kinds of fun stuff. But not allowed to do music on YouTube. Aren't you guys glad? You don't have to listen to me sing. So they will. Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, yeah, they will let you know if it's copyrighted music. So I don't know if me just singing that line might stimulate it. So I guess they have programs that scan everything, and they let you know. And if you have something in a video, so say I happen to have the radio on and it played something, it would scan it. They would send me a notice, but they also, if I try to monetize it. So I had a video that was a fast forward of a tutorial so that you could just watch it quickly. And it was a Canadian bracelet that I made. And I used what I thought was royalty-free music that I got off of, I think it was the Windows editor. And I didn't realize. So I guess when I went to monetize for the first time when I was eligible, it automatically monetizes all your videos, and I had 350 videos. So my wife's like, you should check your other videos to make sure they're monetized, like my older ones, right? And I checked, they were all done. So when I went through, that one had a, like, it was flagged and it said I couldn't monetize it because of this. And then you could check what the problem was. It was this crappy music that I put over top of the, like, it was just, you know, silly music. It wasn't anything major. And I totally get it. You know, I'd be annoyed if some work of mine was being used to promote something without my permission and make you money. So I ended up muting it, and then I was able to correct it. But talking about royalty stuff, I used to do film work. I was part of I was a board member of the Atlantic Film Board Co-op, and so I used to work with directors. I did a lot of like producing for films and stuff. And so I worked with this one young guy, and I mean, you do it, you don't get paid for it. It's a cooperative, right? So we help each other out on our films and stuff. So I did some work for this guy, and I felt that this guy was, you know, the next up and coming director. So I was, you know, happy to help. Anyway, I hurt myself. I think I tore my hamstring, and we were getting ready to do some work on a film. And he called me one day, and he was all upset. He's like, I need you. Like, you had to come. Da, da, da. Like, dude, I can't walk. I can barely sit. I can't do it. Like, and he was like really upset. So I'm like, okay, that relationship is over. So anyway, one day, one of my subscribers, and I apologize if I forget your name, you'll know if you hear this, says to me, she goes, I saw you're getting so popular. I saw one of your videos on Google, on a Google search. She's like, you're getting popular. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you sure? I think it's just an ad for YouTube or something. She's like, no, check it out. So I did a Google search of my name, and she was right. There was a thing there for one of my videos. And it also said, check out Emma Devost's IMDb site. I'm like, IMDb? Why would I be on IMDb, right? So I look. Here it was. That guy had, I guess, listed his movie that I worked on, and I was listed as the executive director, or sorry, the producer, executive producer. So I guess IMDb does cross-reference with names, so it automatically started up a page for me for that. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But oh man, it just makes you realize how, you know, doing YouTube, like, I'm definitely not anonymous anymore. Unless I change my name. So we're getting close to the loop. Let's see where the best spot is for this. I can see little pinpricks from that needle. This is, I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. See how many tips and tricks you got? Now I can't get that song out of my head. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Yesterday. Okay. And I am near the end of my thread, which is annoying because I'm right at a bad spot for that. So I don't like to do thread changes. I definitely wouldn't do it here, so we may have to start a new thread. Let me go down a bit further and then add the thread. Okay, hour and a half. That is beautiful. Look at that. I hope you don't mind that I'm tooting my own horn. I get so excited when I make stuff. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah, my thread's getting short. I better change over. So we're going to go through here, over the top. Actually, you know what? We could probably go through those other beads. Let me think about that for a sec here. I think I'm going to just go through this 2 beads here. Come up through the top. Hang on to them. Pull them tight. Go up to the next set, and maybe I'll hide it in this one here. There. So I need to come up here. So I'm going to go through the next and hide it in here. So this is kind of, you can find your own technique for where you want to hide it. I like to hide it somewhere that I know it's not going to come out. So like there's already some stuff in there, so it'll be tight, which means it's not going to come out. So I'm doing my knot here. And I probably don't need a second knot for this. Maybe I better, no, I think it's fine. And this had glue in it, so you had to be careful. And I put that knot in. So that should do for that one. So take that off, clip this. And careful not to cut anything else. And we're going to need another strand here. We can get this in. Try and do this quickly for y'all. Flatten that a bit with your nail. There we go. So I thread it first. You should probably condition it first. And when you're doing that, you see how it twists and kind of knots up there. So just be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to untwist this through my fingers, and we're going to do the conditioning. You see how that knots? Just pull it. Oh, sorry guys, that sucked. There. So this is ready to go. So now to add, because we're not going to add it the way we did at the beginning, we're going to, let me untangle this a bit. Looks like it's twisted up. There. Now we can weave in through here. Let's do, I kind of want to come through this bead here. And again, this has glue on it, so you know, you might want to, like I said earlier, is not glue it right away. But so I'm going to pull it in here. I'm going to leave a tail because I'll clip that. But if I put it in, it might pull out. So now I am going to go, maybe I'll go under. Oh, we are on the underside of that bracelet, so that's, then I won't worry about the thread being over. So I'm going to go through these beads, and this actually goes up. Let me just go up and then I'll come back down. Actually, like that. There. Let me I need to be underneath. That's why I'm kind of lost here because I'm not in the right position that I normally am. Let me go under and get the right orientation. Let's see what that did. There. Okay. So let me just hide that so it's out of the way. Through here and down. Okay. So now we're going to go through these beads, and that is getting loose. Let me see. Oh, that's that there, so you can just pull it. Okay. So we're going to follow the bead path of these strands here. So it's a bit of a pain in the sense that you're, you know, doing those steps again, but unfortunately that's kind of the situation with, and I think I might, that, through. So this starts to really get to be a lot of threads. That's the only part that I don't like. Let me cheat here and go down 2. It looks like I went down 2 on the other one anyway, so. Okay, pick up 2. We're ready to go, and we're going to start going around this piece here. So just kind of hold it in place. And bring that up. I think there's a cat at the door. I have an old scratching post that doesn't have a base. I have to put a base on it and put it by my door because the cat wants in and he scratches at the door. and we have all new carpeting through the house. So it's not too happy about that situation, if you can imagine. We picked carpet for the house only because this is crazy. We were doing renovation, so the house had all this carpet in it. We wanted to get rid of it. We were gonna just totally go carpetless. And then we took the carpet off of the stairs. Every single tread of the stairs was cracked because I was going to refinish them. And the wall next to the stairs where the gyprock was had holes in it. And I guess the carpet was like shaggy enough that it covered those holes. But of course, if you put wooden treads, now you could see that. So I would have had to fix that, and it would have been a pain in the butt. It's hard to fix like holes in the corner. It's not like you can cut a sheet out and put it, right? So I priced out the treads for the stairs. Now, remembering that my neighbors did their stairs, had somebody redo their stairs because they had the same problem, but they paid to have like oak stairs. I think it was like $10,000 or something crazy like that. So I priced it, oh my gosh, the stair, and you can buy like just the tread, but it comes the tread and the riser with it. I can't remember. I think it was like $75 each or something ridiculous like that. So needless to say, that was out of the question. So then we're like, okay, well, how are we going to do this painting situation? So as you're going around this corner, you just follow the shape. Now, if you have like a really big rounded button that wouldn't fit in this slot, you want to make sure that you open up your leather and that you follow kind of a rounded area. If you had larger beads too, there's another issue that happens is as you start to turn these beads, you're going to get gaps around the edges. Now, if you have small seed beads, you can maybe tuck a third one in those spots. We're going to take a look and see how it goes. I don't think we're going to need that, but we'll see. So we ended up trying to come up with an idea on how to do the flooring and cover those darn stairs. So we came up with the idea of doing the stairs in carpeting and the upstairs landing. So the carpet continues on, and then the living room, and that would kind of tie it all in. The living room for the reason that we don't keep the heat on in all parts of the house, just the areas we're in. So of course your feet get cold because the basement, the heat's not on full, so it gets cold. So we figured that it'd be nice and warm on your feet. So needless to say, the cats just love the carpet. We try to get them to stop scratching. It's a lost cause. So back to the scratching post. I gotta set it up because at some point he's gonna scratch enough in that corner of my door that it's gonna pull up the carpet. So this is coming along. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna just set my leather around to get it ready to go around. And going. So it is kind of tightening this, so I'm gonna kind of stretch it a bit. I guess part of it is when I pull it tight. sure you can see this part. So you can kind of see how it's starting to get a bit wonky in the corners. So there's like a slight gap there. Sorry about the quietness. You know, it's one of those things when you start getting into the something that requires a little more concentration. Like, shh, I'm thinking. It's really not rocket science. It's amazing as you get older how certain things start to get a little more, need a little more focus. You know, I put that charm out, but I didn't put a jump ring, so that's another item that you need to make this bracelet, in case you haven't figured that out. I think I'm going to clip this because I'm pretty sure that that thread is secure. We wove it through enough times. This is really starting to look nice. So even with the little gaps, I think it looks fine. But you could, as you're beading, you could add one, but then you're going to end up with extra strands of thread. So I'm like, just leave it. And this guy keeps wanting to come out, so I better fix that. And untwist this. There we go. Get that at the bottom. Okie dokie. I probably should end this video here and do a part 2 because it's a long video. What's that saying? It's a long ass video. And yeah, I would like to be still married by the end of this. My wife's like, she's gonna kill me. Yeah, I hear her moving around. Okay, I'm in trouble now. Okay, so let's take a look here. Can we bring this out and show you what it looks like so far? So that's what it looks like so far. So we're going to continue on. So all we have left to do is this side here. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I will come back when I'm at this point. And we have to attach this leather some way, maybe through here. I don't know. Yeah. We'll figure that out and add the charm. But let's take a look and see what it would potentially actually look like. So that's the other thing, you should test your button out. So yeah, that slides in pretty easy. That is going to be awesome. So there you go. Sorry for the incredible length. Unfortunately, this is going to be a part 1, but it is awesome. So let me enlarge that so you can kind of see what that looks like. So yeah, this is going to be amazing. And let's try it on. It should go right over my teeny tiny wrists. Maybe not. There. Look at that. That's awesomeness. Okay, I'll be back probably tomorrow with the part 2. So there we go. And I will try to put all the links in there. I will see you later. Take care, guys. Bye.